Thank you, Joe, for showing us where everything goes. Shabbat Shalom. When I hear names like Bernie Madoff or Harvey Weinstein, I cringe not just because of their acts, their wide-ranging financial crimes or their sexual abuse, but also because of what their names do to the public perception of Jews and Judaism. As both men were and are openly and proudly Jewish, both men have fed into the stereotypes of Jews seizing power through money and media. When Jews so publicly act with disregard to God and the rest of humanity, they make God and they make us, their fellow Jews, look bad. Through their actions and their reputations, they endanger our lives. They commit Chilul Hashem, the desecration of God's name. In Parashat Emor, we are commanded not to desecrate God's holy name. Ushmartem mitzvotai v'asitem otam, ani Adonai, and you shall keep or guard my commandments, and you shall do them, I am Adonai. V'lo techalelu et shem kodshi, v'nikdashti b'toch b'nei Yisrael, ani Adonai mikadishchem. And do not profane my holy name, and I shall be sanctified among the children of Israel. I am Adonai, who sanctifies you. By keeping God's commandments, both the negative and the positive, the moral and the ritual, we sanctify God's name and the name of our Jewish people. We make ourselves, quite simply, look good. By not only going against God's commandments, but doing so publicly as Jews, we have the lovely opportunity to profane God's name and the name of the Jewish people. Our text continues, Hamotzi etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihyot lachem liluhim ani Adonai. That I am God who sanctifies you by taking you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai. So as our text reminds us, we choose to sanctify God's name in gratitude for the freedom God gave us in Egypt and continues to give us each and every day. Especially in a world with so few Jews, every single one of us represents the Jewish people to the outside world. Every single one of us has the chance to represent the Jewish people as wise and compassionate, and every single one of us has the same chance to represent the Jewish people as dishonest and self-centered. For most of us, on most days, we reside somewhere in the middle and hopefully more towards that side of wise and compassionate. We are human, and yet, along with our constant and perfect striving to improve our relationship with God and mitzvot, we each have the concrete responsibility to transcend our humanity at least a little bit and take concrete steps towards Kiddush Hashem, towards the act of honoring God's name. First, we must openly speak about and demonstrate our pride in our Judaism. We can talk about the incredible success of world Jewry, the 20% of Nobel laureates who are Jewish, the rich history of Jewish actors and musicians, and our position as the most educated on average of all the world's religious groups. We can more personally speak about our positive experiences with Judaism, our memories of celebrating Seder with family, the friends that we've made at synagogue, and the values that have inspired us to pursue the professions or the philanthropy that we have. For those who feel comfortable, we may wear a kippah or tzitzit every day. For those who do not, a Star of David necklace or a CBT t-shirt. When meetings are scheduled on Jewish holidays, we tell teachers and we tell supervisors about that holiday to show that our Judaism is a priority for us and for whoever else from the Jewish community may not be speaking up this time around. When we hear a negative Jewish stereotype, we let the speaker know about our Judaism and about how such statements affect us personally. Remember that sometimes the speaker might not know that her statement is negative or offensive. When we call that person out, we let them know not only that Jews live in this community, but also that we're proud of our Judaism, of our heritage, and our beliefs. Most importantly, to honor God in the ways in which we believe God asks us to, we have to be mensches. Although none of us can ever be perfect, we have to be a community known for our generosity, for the everyday deeds that we do to improve the lives of the people we meet. Our parshiot this week and last command us to leave the corners of our fields for the poor, to pay people on time, to love our neighbors as ourselves. But as we've learned before, our Jewish tradition also asks us to go above and beyond, what's called lifnei mishurat hadin. By openly practicing mitzvot, looking for what comes beyond the mitzvot, and really by being decent human beings in our everyday lives and in the organizations we choose to support, we make God and we make the Jewish people look good. We perform the mitzvah of Kiddush Hashem, of sanctifying God's name, and we combat Chilul Hashem, the disgrace of God's name that just a few of our most public Jews have created. At the end of Parashat Emor, in the middle of a fight, a man curses God's name and is punished with a fatal stoning from the entire community. While I certainly do not condone communal stoning in any situation, the communal nature of the man's punishment reflects the public power of one Jewish individual's actions and image on the rest of the people around him. What I do and what I say publicly reflects on your reputation and ultimately your safety as a Jew in a world with a history of precarious attitudes towards our people. How each of us acts in public affects how the world sees the God we know to be true, to be ours and one. So thank goodness the Bernie Madoffs and the Harvey Weinsteins of the world are also accompanied by the Albert Einsteins and the Barbara Streisands and the Abraham Joshua Heschels. Through Kiddush Hashem, sanctifying God's name every day, we seek to fulfill the call of Isaiah. Li avdi ata, you are my servant Israel, asher becha et pa'ar, in whom I will be glorified. Shabbat shalom. At this point, we have a few options.